Hey guys, Dutchy here, bringing you some more Stormgate action. This time, I'm bringing you something quite different from anything that I've brought you thus far. This is Stormgate with creep camps added into it. This is something Delirus and I have been working on here recently because we were wondering what if there were creep camps again with Stormgates, but not the old creep camps. There were too many things that people didn't like and the way they worked, but a revamped set of creep camps. So what you're going to see in these 3 test games, and I do mean test games because this is not done yet, this is still a work in progress, but what you're going to see in these 3 test games are the new creep camps and how they work with the new game. So let's quickly jump through them. There's a speed camp here. There's a resource camp here. There is a energy camp here. Health camp here. Vision camp here. And another resource camp here. You'll notice I called this resource camp and this resource camp not Luminite and Therium. The only reason they have different icons is because of the money that you get from killing these. You get Therium from these, and you get Luminite from killing these. But we'll talk more about what happens when you capture the zone, because that's entirely new. We'll talk more about that when we see it in-game. Something to mention real quick is that aside from the first 3 bases, so the first 3 bases are still normal, but you'll notice that the 4th bases in both directions on the map have these new camps as well. These are called expansion camps. These are brand new. This is really Delirus that came up with this all on his own, but it's perfect for what we are doing here in the larger scale of creeps. But if you kill these 2 monsters, and they're pretty strong, if you kill these 2 creep, then these 3 buildings will blow up. This is actually indestructible in this version. You might recognize it from the regular game where they are destructible, but these are indestructible. You kill these 2 and all 3 of these will blow up. That happens at every one of these expansions. So, in other words, you can't expand there until you kill the creep. So that's why we call them expansion camps. That was implemented to slow down the ability to take expansions because we really want the focus to be on creeps and we want the focus to be on, things that are engaging on the map. With creeps accelerating the game in their own way, it's a good way to slow things down a little bit with these camps. Last thing I'll say before I hit start, because I know this is a long intro and I apologize, but things get crazy quick. Every camp has a new reward now from before. So killing the individual creep monsters, so I'll use one example here. Let's go here. If you kill these monsters, every one of them that's the unit that gets the last hit on them gets a special reward, a little bit of a permanent buff. In this case, they get a little bit of a shield. And so you'll see that when we play in game. But there's also a special reward that you get for killing each individual one of these. And it always goes to the unit who last hit them. And if that unit already has that buff, it'll give it to a neighboring unit instead. So just remember that as we get into it. Here we go. So I am playing as the blue Vanguard here in the bottom left. With Mirage here as the red Inferno in the top right. So starting off, you kind of start to wonder, okay, is it important to creep or should you still fast expand? Should you macro? How much macro? How much should you invest in army? What is the right way to look at this situation now that there's creep camps? And I would say that the idea for us was to make creeping just as valuable as expanding. And no, that does not mean that from an economic standpoint. But if you're out on the map killing these little camps and collecting the buffs from them, your army is scaling, right? And so your army is getting stronger, which is another way of progressing into the game because sure, your opponent might be macroing and they might even be able to have a couple more units than you, but your units are going to be buffed, so they'll be able to compete. So the main goal here is to get players out on the map more than just when there's a Stormgate, and to provide little buffs on the camps that are not necessarily game-ending buffs, but something that rewards the player for being on the map and allowing them to keep up with a player that might be macroing. And this is a good example. We've got Mirage here that went Vault into a second base, No second base for me to speak of. I'm on 2 barracks. Now, typically when you would see 2 barracks on the live ladder, or I'm sorry, on the PTR ladder, this needs to damn near be game-ending damage, or this macro will get to a point that just I'll never be able to keep up with. So this would be a build order loss for the Vanguard, or for me in this case, unless I did some real game-ending damage here, because this is bad macro, right? This is, I mean, I'm literally still on 1 base, and he's got his second base done. I haven't even started. I'm fully saturated on Luminite. My oversaturation is going on Therium, but here come my Lancers across the map, and first thing I try to do is, alright, I'm going to try to do some damage, and I'm going to try to run into his base, but I see all these units, I see this building up here, I'm thinking, alright, I probably can't do damage in his base, so how about I steal this creep camp from him? So now I aggro the creep camp, and it wakes it up, attacking all nearby units, right? Now remember, the last hit gives you the buff, so this Lancer here got a last hit, and now it has a buff. It has 10% attack speed increase for the rest of the game. So, and let's see which other units. Oh, he's got it on his Brute here. So his Brute got a last hit, and this Brute got a last hit. So he's got 2 of the buffs, and there were 5 units total, so there were 5 buffs available. There we go, that Brute dies. So I've got it on 2 of my Lancers here. You can see it on this one too, the little red glow. And it's the 10% attack speed, and he's got it on that 1 Brute here that's pretty low health. Now I go into the zone and actually try to take the zone. Nobody takes the zone yet, and this gives me a movement speed for 10 seconds while I'm in the zone after leaving it. This is not recapturable. He cannot take that from me. But the only time I get value from it is if I'm standing in it and 10 seconds after. So he can't take this from me. And the reason that's in the game is that we don't want every camp to be stealable. We want some of them to be stealable, but we don't want constantly players stealing camps from each other and constant what we call camp flipping. It just becomes a bit annoying when players send 1 unit to a camp across the map and then the other player sends 1 of their units to another one. It's chaos. It's hard to keep up with. But see, look, he's in there and he's trying to take this zone back because Mirage isn't used to all the changes yet because he didn't work in this. He's just helping by testing for us. So he didn't know. I told him, but he must have forgot that you can't take this zone from the other player. You can take some of the other ones. Let's see. Just looking here. Oh, so I was denying a 3rd base here while I'm talking about creeps. I'm sorry about that. But notice how these units have this little white bar over their health. So this white bar, I got it from killing the creep camps at the health fountain. Now, what the white bar does here, it says the unit has shields up. The unit has shields equal to 10% of their maximum health. Shield regens 10% per second after being out of combat for 5 seconds. So what this all means is you get a shield that regens, and the shield is 10% of your maximum health. So Lancer has 200 maximum health, and you'll see the shield is 20. So these Lancers all have a little bit of a damage shield. And you see, boom, when I start to take damage, the shield gets knocked off the units. This one's about to get caught. He gets that one Lancer. Nice catch by him. But these shields regen. There we go. We get to see it regen. Now I'm also standing in the health fountain to regen my health. So I've got health and shield here. The shields would regen on their own, though, but the health wouldn't. Now, this is actually a non-capturable zone. So just because I stole the creep camp doesn't mean he doesn't get any healing. See, we're both getting healing. So the mana shrine acts like it does in-game, the health fountain acts like it does in our regular game, except for you have to kill the creep camp for it to activate. No unit gets healing if there's a creep camp that's alive near it. So players still have to kill it, but there's no zone to capture, but the player that kills the unit gets the little white shield buff. So I decided to run away there. I didn't think I was going to get much more done. But notice how I was able to steal his creep camps across the map. And that kind of helped me, stay in the game in terms of my army is still pretty scary compared to his. Now look, I'm killing these and you saw more units getting the white health. See that? Now, I think this means 10 of my units, unless one of them got caught over here, that should mean 10 of my units have the white health. So there we go. Now I'm killing an expansion camp. Cool, we get to see this. Watch what happens. See, it blew up the building. That one was in Fog of War. Shoot, we didn't get to see it. Maybe I should have gone to everybody's vision there for a moment. But see, now I've opened this up to take my expansion eventually. And now I'm running over here to get more of that attack speed buff from the speed camp. So I don't get any resources. I haven't gotten any money for killing the camps, but I have gotten buffs on my army. So my army's getting nice and juiced up over here, right? So that's pretty sweet. What's Mirage doing over here? Mirage killed his expansion camp. I missed that. He hasn't taken any camps, but he is working on his 4th base. And I am not working on mine. So Mirage keeping his macro going. Our supplies are pretty close to even, but he is slightly ahead. But something that we have to keep an eye on is... Oh, wait a minute. So I'm taking this resource camp, and watch what happened. After killing the creep camp, you see the building being built, and it depends on the faction that takes it. So it's a Vanguard building, and it spawns these super workers, and these super workers, called super servos in this case, are going here, and they're going to start double mining. Hey, Mirage is taking his. Let's take a look at what happens. So he kills his monsters. I'm trying to harass him while he's doing this. I'm just being a jerk. So he kills the monsters. There we go. Now it becomes claimable. He pushes me out, so he claims it. Now it's an infernal building called an infused imp vault. I'm still trying to be annoying attacking. The building is almost done, and when it's done, see how it auto rallies? This building auto rallies to the nearest allied Luminite that you have a headquarter at. So see how it's rallied to it? And look, it spawns these super infused imps. And there's not much. I know we should be focusing on the battle, but watch this little guy. Ah, he's kind of behind the thing, but there he goes. Watch. See? Oh, we can't see it, but he's dropping off double the resources. I would have to be watching it from the player's perspective, I think. Anyway, here we go. Big battle here. So there's a Stormgate here. We didn't really pay much attention to the first Stormgate, I guess. But there's a big battle happening here. With the creep camps behind it, not coming into play, but interesting nonetheless. See, my army's pretty beefy here. I was able to use my buffed up army to take on a fight I probably wouldn't have been able to take on before, but there's Hexen mines here that Mirage is retreating into, making it difficult for me to overcommit, and if I overcommit here, I'm in trouble. But look, you can kill this building, which is constantly spawning these infused imps. I can kill it if I want, and then I can take the zone for myself. So I've killed it, so no more super units for him, while mine is still pumping. So mine is just sending these, and I rallied it to my Therium, because I wanted more Therium. So I've got a couple of these super servos there, getting, I guess, super Therium for me. Running into these mines, not cool. Running into more mines, not cool. So here I am trying to take the zone from him, and see, now I take it, boom, it's mine, and it does the Vanguard building. So it constantly understands what the faction is of the one that takes it. So then it builds the, and see, it auto-rallied for me. In this case, this is my closest Luminite, so it went to that. So it's working very well. And spawning these super servos. Quick side note, they have increased movement speed for the first 10 seconds, 5 seconds when they spawn, I forget. That just gets them to the base a little faster. And notice it's building another one every 30 seconds here. Produces a super worker every 30 seconds. These workers last 75 seconds. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that. They are on a timed life. So the super workers do eventually die. Hang on, let me see real quick. I know I'm kind of jumping around. Does it show them on a timed life this way? No, it does not. Shoot, it really is. In-game as the players, you can see the timed life. I really wish we could see that as an observer, but we can't. Maybe there's a way we can fix that. So, oh yeah, taking the energy camps, notice how my medtechs got all juiced up. So if there's energy units nearby, they get what's called, amped up. So big fight happening here. So when they get the rewards from killing the creep camps, and I killed 2 of them here and 2 of them here, the unit gets 50% maximum extra energy, so a larger energy cap. And they get energy reduced by 4% of missing energy per second. So the more energy you are missing, the more it regens. But you have to be out of combat for that to take effect. So taking a big fight here, probably biting off more than I can chew. But I was really trying to push my buffed up army, because my army was more buffed up from the creep camps than his. And I really wanted to push that advantage, but I wasn't quite able to break him. But still doing pretty well in the fight, all things considered. Here I go aggroing a creep camp to help me fight him as I run away. So me just abusing the creep camps a little, but kind of works against me because they start killing my own units. Now they're killing his. So bit of chaos. Here I am in the energy camp here, getting just some energy regen altogether. Look how quick they recharge standing in that. Got some more barracks here. Mirage is on his 5th base over here. I've got this creep camp to kill. I want to see some nice explosions there, so maybe I'll watch this one. Here we go. Am I killing it now? Here we are. So Mirage moving out on the map. I'm over here trying to kill these little creep camps. Ah, see, they killed one of my units. Ah, this one, okay, there we go. It wasn't in Fog of War that time. Nice, we got to see them all blow up. So that makes it available for me to take the base. So here I go, trying to get some more white health on my unit. I think all the units that had the white health died. So here I go, killing this next, like the camp respawned, right? So there I go, getting the white health on a couple of my units. Mirage is over here taking this Stormgate. I couldn't really contest it. So he does get this one. There's this attack speed camp. I wonder why I'm not getting it. Oh, that's right. He was harassing me with Spriggans. So lots of stuff going down here. Here's this, he's got this resource camp. It's about to respawn, though. Let's take a look at what happens when it respawns. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool animation. It spawns these guys that just kill the building, even though they're derping out a little bit. There we go. Ah, I looked away. I wonder why... Oh, I bet the effigy was triggering it. We might have to fix that. Shoot. Sorry I missed that, you guys. But they destroyed the building, resetting the camp. It's a little animation we worked into. Big battle going down here. Mirage throwing down the Stormcaller. I'm trying to kite away from it as best I can. I've got 2 Hurricanes here. There's not much anti-air for him. Bombing runs, getting some real good connections on that pack of units. I got this Hurricane pushing forward. The Bio just taking the Stormcaller to the face. I'm between Miasma and the Stormcaller, not a place you want to be, but there's really not much anti-air. So pushing through it, this camp getting aggroed in the middle of the fight here, that helped me out a lot because these Hellborn got caught on that. I'm running to the health camp here. I've got these Hurricanes pushing him back, so that was a crazy fight. I did come out significantly ahead, though, up by about 80 supply. So, sorry I haven't been talking too much about the game. I'm doing a lot of talking about the creep camps, but they are important. So this medtech still has that energy buff. See, it lasts for the whole game, but the other ones must have died. I catch a couple of Hexen out here, planting those Hexen traps, so that was really nice to catch them. I'm kiting back here, trying to use my Hurricanes. My bombing runs miss. Mirage nicely kites back and away from them. I see those Shadow Flyers too, so I gotta really make sure I don't get obliterated by Shadow Flyers here. And use my Exos to zone the Shadow Flyers while my bombing runs were on cooldown. I'm charging up my medtechs here in the Mana Shrine, keeping them on full energy, which is really nice because I definitely want my System Shocks, and I want my heals, and I want my Nano Swarms. So really nice. Let's see, Mirage here, killing this one. We'll get to see this creep camp animation, which is just wonderful. You kill it, it blows everything up. Boom, boom, boom. Opens up the camp. So cool. Delirus, such a good job on that one, man. Delirus is really the mastermind behind a lot of how the mechanics were implemented in the game. But we've worked together on the map, we've worked together on the concept, so it's really a team effort, but he's the genius here. Delirus is the genius. So Shadowfire has taken out one of the Hurricanes. Huge battle going down here. Creep camp dying, opening up this camp in the middle of the fight. Big miasma here. Still, I'm seeing a lack of anti-air, so I'm pushing forward on my Hurricane, trying to be as annoying as possible. Lots of low health Hellborn here, so I system shock this Hurricane to get it in range to help kill these Hellborn even more. These Shadowfires coming, but some of the Shadowfire's missing its target. These Exos gunning down a bunch of them, killing just enough that the Shadowfires aren't enough to kill it, and doing a return to hangar with the Nanoswarm. Mirage knows it. GG. So that was crazy at the end there, but we got to see a lot of the creep camps in action. We've got 2 more games of this, so if you're like, what the hell just happened, don't worry, we'll see 2 more games of it, and we'll go through all the early game stuff again, and I think you'll figure it all out in the next game. So that is the best. This is a little best of 3, we'll call it. That puts me up 1-0 on to the second game. Alright guys, game 2 of the Creep Camp test map. We've got myself here as the Vanguard in the bottom left. We've got Mirage again as the Infernal in the top right. Let's see, so a lot happened in the last game. What do I want to elaborate on? I guess I could just quickly jump through the camps and again talk about what they do. So we got Speed Camp. For last hitting the individual creeps, the unit that gets the last hit gets a permanent buff. In this case, for this camp, it's 10% attack speed buff on the unit, called Psyched Up. We'll look at that when a unit gets it. And then this zone is capturable, and it gives the units that stand inside it a speed boost that lasts for 10 seconds. This zone is not stealable, so it permanently belongs to the player who takes it until the camp respawns on its own. Camps currently respawn every 5 minutes. Over here, we've got the good old resource camp. You kill these monsters, and what you get for last hitting these guys is, well, Luminite or Therium. So very fitting in this case, of course, of the resource camp. And then by capturing the zone, this rubble turns into a building. The building matches the faction that takes it and will produce super workers of that faction that mine at twice the rate of regular workers. And you'll see that in action. You saw it last game. We've got energy camps, right? If you want to get anything from this fountain, you have to kill the camp first. Both players can get the fountain healing or energy once the camp is dead, but only the player that kills that last hits the unit gets the last hit buff. In this case, the last hit buff gives nearby units that use energy more energy and more regen. That's the short version of it. The health camp gives all units that kill it the last hits on them. It gives them a little bit of a shield based off of their maximum health. And the vision camp, we haven't talked about that one yet. So I'm over here trying to deny this tower, which this tower is an interesting move by Mirage because he's going to use it to be able to claim this camp. It's going to be really hard for me to fight him off of this camp, and I think I realized that, and I just give up and run away. But the vision camp, what these guys do is they spawn a unit when you kill them, and that unit is a scout, and I'll try to point that out in this game here. But so I couldn't take this camp from him, so I decided to go for this camp instead. So notice here, there we go. This unit got a last hit, that one got a last hit, and we can look here. Shield up. Unit has shields equal to 10% of their maximum health. Shields regen 10% per second after being out of combat. So I only had 4 units there, though, so only 4 of them got the buff, but that makes sense. Over here, Mirage had only 1 unit, apparently, when he killed that camp, so only 1 of them got the buff. So maybe he ought to have waited until he had another unit there, right? But that's one of the reasons that I went heavy on the unit count early, is to be able to really get value from all these buffs. So here we go. Taking my own speed camp, which will give me attack speed buff. Now this one's got it here. This one's got the health and the attack speed, right? So my army getting nice and juiced up here. Mirage is here just healing up his units. He didn't get the buffs from killing them, but he can still get the healing. The healing belongs to everybody. We didn't want to kind of make that too powerful for one player. But here I go killing this one, so getting the buff on the rest of these units. So all my units now have attack speed, and all of them have the shield, so nice and strong. Look at all that stuff this unit has. That's a lot of buffs. Mirage taking the Stormgate. I didn't really feel like I could contend versus his army on that. So, ooh, he used Empower. So now he's got the Empower Stone on a Brute, and he's also got this Brute has, I think it has the buff. Oh no, I wish he would have used it on one that had the buff. I don't think this one does. Oh, he does. It's just not showing. That must be a Zerva bug. He's got the attack speed. No, wait. The Empower Stone gives you attack speed. Anyway, I'm going to look into that. So here we are, kind of using, both of our armies are a little bit buffed up, so just fighting each other a little bit. I'm running in here. I'm like, I got to do some damage, right? He splits his units, and I'm like, oh crap, I've overcommitted here. I am able to kind of squeeze out, though. That shield on those lances is really coming in clutch for me, because the shield, you know, allows me to take an extra hit or two from these brutes, right? Let's take a look. Brutes do 22, so not quite. The shield on the lances is only 20, but lancers have armor, so brutes do about 20 damage per strike versus lancers. So this white health shield kind of gives you like 1 free hit versus versus the brute. So that's actually pretty cool. Definitely a nice little interaction there. Let's take a look what's going on here. I'm trying to get more barracks. So I'm on 3 bases, kind of. Mirage is definitely in a better position this game. I think Mirage did such a good job messing with me here. I was not expecting him to have that tower. And it allowed him to get the first Stormgate. Yes, I've been able to do a little damage. Yes, I've been able to get my units nice and buffed up. But I just feel behind in pacing in this game. So Mirage making a nice adjustment from the first game here. And just this tower is pretty sweet, man. Not going to lie. It sort of defends this whole zone. He just keeps a really chunk of the map, you know, under control. Let's see, running this way. just watching the fight here a little bit, seeing how these buffed up units play out. So I do have kinetic redirect at this point, but that's a lot of brutes, and I'm worried he's going to have charge any moment. But anyway, over here, using the healing, right? Anybody can use this. I'm going to keep saying that. It's a non-capturable zone. It's just kill the creep camps and everybody gets to use the healing. Now, we're looking for some VFX here. We haven't been able to figure it out. But ideally, this wouldn't look green or glowing until the creep camp is dead. That way, it's nice and clear that it was disactivated and becomes inactive. So here we go. He killed the creep camp, opening up this space. I love that animation so much. I'm going up here to try to do damage, but man, he's got this really nice wall here. That means like if I want to go in here and do damage, I'm stuck in there. So Mirage with some excellent SimCity. Mirage is really playing well this game, honestly. He played well last game, but I love these adjustments this game, right? So very, very good. Definitely constantly deflecting me. Now, I was able to get ahead on supply a little bit here despite all of that. But, I mean, I'm certainly not like a great position here. So, Mirage has a huge amount of brutes here pushing me back. I was trying to activate that camp. I finally do. This camp is pretty strong since it spawns at level 2. So, I use it to deflect his push. You know, just doing what I can to survive there. Interesting. Oh, okay, the leash range finally reset it. But yeah, I'm just trying to take advantage of it. He was over here. You know, I know this camp is going to reset soon as well. So I'm trying to apply pressure. But man, he just has a bigger army. And now this aggro is working against me. Just getting in my face. Oh, look at that. Now, and then this camp gets activated. This is chaos. Mirage, in the meantime, getting a third base behind us and deciding, fine, I'll clear this camp. And just clears both camps. There he goes. He's nicely set up to take, you know, his 4th base, which he is, and now his 5th base. While he pivots over here, and he's probably going to take the resource camp. I clear mine. I missed the animation. Shame on me. And I'm just going here to heal up. Mirage is just staying one step ahead of me this whole game, it felt like. And he takes this space here. Or he takes the resource camp. And notice it automatically rallied to even before this is done, which is fantastic. It automatically rallied here, and there we go. We got the super guy real quick. They carry this huge luminite chunk. Oh no, it wasn't done yet. Maybe it's not perfect, but look at that huge luminite boulder. I love that animation, man. That is so cool that it actually carries one that's twice as big. It does the same with Therium too. I have my resource camp, so it is spawning. Kind of weird why the zone is looking uncaptured. Maybe that's because I was looking away. So here we go, Mirage killing my building, this jerk. So I'm taking away my resource camp. Very annoying. I'm running into a mine here, now into a Hexen field. Or, I mean, mine into a miasma. So, just constantly getting pushed back here. Oh yeah, I got the energy camp creeps here. So again, let's look at that. The unit has 50% extra maximum energy. Look at that, 150 instead of 100. And energy regen increased by 4% per second after being out of combat for 5 seconds. So you get a ton of energy regen if you're out of combat. So watch this, I'm killing these, and look, my med techs are getting the energized effect. See, there we go, we got it on 4 of them here. So these have that pink sparkle on them. Pink-purple sparkle. And it's called Amped Up. I love that, Amped Up. Using System Shock, because I have lots of energy on these. Going over here to get this creep camp, so I can get the white health on a couple of my units. And see here, the unit was promoted, so it had 132 health, and so 10% this time gave me 13. What? Oh, I must have gotten it before I was promoted. Will any of them be different? See, they start at 130, so I must have gotten that before the promotion, or maybe it just does it off the base health. Interesting. Huge army by Mirage here. His army's just better tech. Oh, so I killed the vision camp, and when those units die, they spawn. The name is bugged. These are called ethereal flyers. They're stealth units that have a timed life. They are stealth detectors, so they're like a little bit of a scout unit that you get from getting the camp. I'll do a better job of showing that one off later. So I'm trying to split my army up here into a 3-prong attack, because I felt like that was my only hope. But Mirage just has such a strong army here. He also took control of the vision tower, so he's got vision of this whole area. So here we go. I'm trying to hit him on 3 fronts, trying to stay out of the miasma zones. Not doing a good job here. Getting the flank, though, so this is a huge fight. I really am trying to hit him on all sides here. But it's just not good enough. I have to make sure I stay out of miasmas. But god damn, he has such a big army. My supply is starting to dwindle, and he's pushing me back. He has pushed me out of the healing shrine. So he's able to get all the healing, and I'm just getting pushed back here. And I know I'm cooked at this point because I'm on 4 bases. I know he's on 5. I wasn't able to get my 3rd tier tech out. I didn't have survival protocol. He had pushed me back. I mean, maybe I can fight my way back into this, but I was pretty sure I was screwed. So I tapped out, and we went on to the next game. I will show off the Vision Tower Creep Camp better next game. All right. There we go with game 3 of the Creep Camp test map. So again, I'm in the bottom left as Vanguard Blue. This time in the top right, we've got Mirage playing Celestial. This is actually Mirage's main faction. But I think this was his first time. Yeah, I think first time doing Celestial on this map. This is actually Mirage's 3rd game ever on this, so he's just helping test, but this is only his 3rd game ever. I gave him a thorough rundown of how the creep camps work. I showed it to him. I did a screen share with him, so he had a good idea of how all of it worked. It's a lot of information though, so having all that information and then using it right away is a lot. So, but Mirage making it happen in game number 2 nonetheless. So the series is now 1-1. And this will be for all the money. And Mirage sticking with his tower strategy here, using the tower to help take the camp. Now, one thing I will say again is you get 1 buff per unit killed. So you really don't want to kill this camp too early. You want to make sure you've probably got at least like 3 or 4 units, unless you just want the speed zone. But I would recommend, like in my case, I was really doing what I could to get like at least 4 Lancers out as quick as possible, so that at least 4 of my units would get, you know, the buff effects. So over here pumping out 2 Lancers at a time, got my next set of Lancers ready. Meanwhile, Mirage is doing a 1-base Vector opener, it seems. Vectors are good at creeping, that's for sure. But obviously it takes a little bit to get the Vector out. And yeah, I guess, I mean, again, you're only going to have 1 Vector, and then, you know, eventually you'll have 2. Excuse me. But 1 Vector is not going to get much from this, so I kind of feel like you want to, I don't know about this. But he does, okay, I will say this. He denies me from taking this camp, so, okay, maybe he's thought this through more than I even realized. Okay, well, here he goes, right? So, okay, the Vector got the buff there. See, the building killed it, but the Vector got the buff. That was awesome. I think meanwhile, I'm over here taking this camp and getting the white health. So I'm stealing what I can. So he takes this camp. I've got this one. Now, when these units die, they actually apply a debuff for 30 seconds that reduces my armor. So currently my armor is -100. So if I'm here and I try to steal this and that debuff from one of those units blowing up is on all my units, that's a really good opportunity for his Vector to have come and tried to snipe a Lancer or 2. I'm actually a little surprised we didn't see, and we'll see that more as, you know, we get more test games in. But that's a little bit of a tip, right? Like, try to catch your opponent when they're at a creep camp. Because not only are they getting attacked by that creep camp, a lot of times there's a debuff like that on the units that are actually fighting them. So there we go, taking expansion. Kind of messed that up, didn't I? And then over here, got these Lancers. I've got a good number of Lancers, trying to get my own health camp so I can get white health on all of them. Look at all these juiced up Lancers. So this one, right, has 2 of the buffs. It's got the shield up, and it's got the psyched up. So it's got like a 10% health shield, and it's got a 10% attack speed increase. So nice little boosted squad of units here, and getting my kinetic redirect is almost done. So playing better than last game, for sure. Now his Vectors show up here, and I want to zone him. Now Lancers are not good against Vectors, but I do have the kinetic redirect, and I've got those shields to zone. Now, I'm doing some piss poor micro here. I must have been macroing or something, just A-moved. But look, I was able to zone him there pretty good, and I only lost one Lancer. So, kind of sloppy, though, to lose that Lancer, not gonna lie. But anyway, was able to zone him with Lancers, which is not something you see every day. Now, and the buffs had a lot to do with that. So now I am trying to take the camp here, because I'm like, whatever, if you try to come and zone me, I'll push you back again. I'm not that worried about it. And look, I got the camp before he was able to get back here, or the Stormgate before he was able to get back here. Oh yeah, I remember. I do an Empower, and I juice up this guy, this Lancer. So this Lancer has that shield now. It's got extra health and attack speed from the, so it's got, this thing's attack speed is crazy. This thing has a negative, like its attack speed is reduced by like 33%, something crazy. That Lancer is big boy Lancer. So meanwhile, Mirage is continuing to get his macro rolling. He's got a second arc ship. He's got a third Starforge. He's got his second base fully saturated. I've got my second base fully saturated, starting my third, and he's starting his third. So, the macro pacing seems really good. Like, it didn't seem from any of our games that any, like, faction was able to wildly get more macro or something from these camps or anything. And a lot of that has to do, in fact, all of it probably has to do with the fact that the only camps that actually give you money are these resource camps. The other ones just buff your army. So your income is very much similar to like the PTR ladder version. Here we go, we got the Celestial version of this finally. So the Celestial version spawns this pure Prism Purifier. So we haven't seen this one yet, right? And then here we go. Oh, but the Prism getting caught, kinda. Oh, it squeezes by. It is a pristine Prism. Look at this thing go, 170 health. What is regular Prism health? 85, so it's literally like just a double worker. It can't do anything other than harvest, though. I guess prisms are always like that. But like super servers, for example, they can't repair. They can't build anything. They're just harvesters. So here I go clearing out some creep camp. Mirage ahead of me on supply pretty significantly with a huge ball of these vectors. But really, he doesn't have that many of the buffs, right? Because he got the attack speed buff, but only on one of his vectors. I took this camp from him, and I took this camp and this camp. So my army is significantly more buffed than his.
Dimensional rift detected. A Stormgate will activate.
We both have one resource camp, giving us extra income. So staying pretty even there. Ooh, look at that. He had a scanner here. I didn't know that. I gotta keep an eye on that. I'm glad I'm watching this replay. I can't let him get away with that. So here he goes, clearing out the expansion camp and blowing it up. Man, this one is always in Fog of War, huh? And every time we've seen it. Here we go. We get to see a good one this time. So he clears the expansion camp, and then boom, boom, boom. Ah, come on. Fog of War again because he moved away. No love. No love. Let's see. He's healing up his vectors. I'm over here checking for bases. I see these camps are still alive, so I know he hasn't taken these bases. So I say, okay, I'm at least going to kill this to stop his worker production. I wasn't sure I was going to be able to take the camp, so I ran away, but killing the building at least denies some of the super workers. I was going to take this camp, but I realized I don't have any med techs. I don't need energy, and the buff has nothing to apply on it. So I'm like, shit, I'm not going to take that. Why would I give that to him, you know? Because then I just open up the camp for him. So here I go, standing in the fountain or the wellspring, just healing up. I'm like, all right, I got to take my own fourth base here. So I'm over here looking to take the expansion camp down. This Stormgate is here. I don't know why I'm not going for it. I must have been a little worried or something. Oh, yeah, that's right. I was worried about this giant pack of vectors. And I didn't want to just be on a Stormgate and then he can get like the perfect engage on me. So I was kind of waiting for him to go on it. So here we go. Oh yeah, this camp respawns. But look, some of these units have like debuffed armor now. So I got my health shield, but my armor's debuffed. The Stormgate died before Mirage was able to take it, or the timer ran out. Here we go. We get a good look at this. So now I'm taking the Vision Camp, and watch, when these units die, they spawn this new unit. And this thing is it's a timed life. It dies, I think, in 45 seconds. But I can use it to scout in the meantime, and it's stealth, and it's a stealth detector. And look, he's got his scanner here perched up. But I've got dogs here too, I guess. But this thing actually scouts it for. I didn't even have to ping. Didn't even have to do a reveal, right? So this thing doing some scouting for me and helping me out there. The other one, where did the other one go? I had two. I wonder if one of them died. Let's take a look. Yeah, it definitely didn't get much of a scout. So he must have killed one of them. Anyway, so you don't get a buff from killing the Vision Camp, but you get the little scout guys, and you know that I think that's pretty fitting of the camp. So here, there's another one. Do I use these or do I forget? Okay, so I do use these. So I fly here and I run into these towers, and the towers take them down because they're stealth detectors. So obviously it's very useful for getting a scout, but not if there's stealth detection around. So here I go jumping on these sabers that I saw out of position. So they spawned out of there. Jumping over here. Just taking advantage of the system shock mobility versus these sabers. Oof, these sabers catching the what's it called? The medtech out of position there. Mirage doing some blink micro there. I do snipe like 6 sabers there in that whole engagement, which is obviously huge for me. I don't have survival protocol yet, so that was a bit of a risk, no doubt. This camp just respawned. We put the spawn animation on that. And speaking of spawn animations, notice how Vanguard units are spawning? There. We put in the little bit of a warp animation on them as a part of this, as just a polish. But I love the sound and how it looked. Just like the workers, the units kind of spawn that way now. Celestial has that too. Can we see that on Celestial?
Have begun to secure a Stormgate.
Stormgate fight here. Let's see. I want to see a unit pop. Are any of these called? Here we go. See, look at that. Doesn't that look awesome? Oh, man. Just giving them what's called a birth effect, rather than just spawning out of nowhere. So I got the deep one here on this reward. This is camp coming into play here. Killing those units dying there does give all those units that negative armor, right? Holy, negative 50 armor from that. God damn. I decided to go back here. I've got my hurricanes coming. I had my tier 3 bio upgrades coming, so I definitely wanted to wait to take a fight until I had survival protocol. And what's the other one called again? What's the Lancer one? It's called Mitigative Guard. Mitigative Guard is insanely good versus sabers. It's pretty much built to be versus sabers and versus Hellborn. So that upgrade is just massive to get. And I'm just zipping around here with my system shock. I was like, I need to kill this base. I do have these bases here, so boy, we kind of have the whole map at this point. Look at us. So you can see both of us getting more comfortable with the creeping by the 3rd game already. And just remembering to take out those expansion camps is a trip, too. He's got that 25 extra health because of the white health shield on some of these sabers. I'm able to jump on top of them, though, here. Now that I have survival protocol, I felt pretty good about just jumping in here. We got these medtechs that are supercharged on energy here, just healing and pushing through. So nice. You, like, always have a system shock. So I'm able to push through and just kill a chunk of his army here. Supplies are still relatively close, though, because I did lose a good number of units there. Able to take out some buildings here, which is huge. Bit of an awkward survival protocol helping me so big here. And then I want to jump on these sabers, but like freaking 8 more sabers show up. I'm like, Jesus Christ. And I know some of my survival protocol had already been used. So I was like, I got to get out of here. So, and a lot of these units are promoted. I do not want to lose those promotions. You know, you just got that promotion at work. You can't get fired. All right. And then we've got just a boatload of sabers here. We have the Arc Fortress here with the Purify being able to help out. This camp has respawned, but Mirage hasn't taken it yet. Meanwhile, I'm taking this energy camp and then just keeping my medtech, right? I love this amped up. I want to see this on an Animancer, you guys. We haven't yet. Will we get lucky enough on an Animancer? I guess that'd be really good for a Navi as well. Just constantly having that energy. Oh, shit. I haven't even thought about that. So here we go. A Saber getting caught out. I just one-shot it. Jump on top of it with System Shock. Why not? Catching some prisms on a rally here. God, I'm floating just a boatload of resources. At this point, it's really just trying to get enough. I guess I am close to max, but not really. Got to get more of the Hurricane on the map. Getting some Atlas upgrades as well. Taking down that base. Just this amount of Sabers in this Wellspring is a little scary to fight into, but I know he doesn't have much anti-air. Vectors are not great versus Hurricane. The Vectors do bonus damage to light, but the Hurricanes just can kind of fight through. Look at that. And I use promotes here to stay alive even a little longer. That's pretty dirty. That was me using the promotes manually. So now I've got 2 Atlas here. So this is definitely going to be hard for him to push through. I've got the Empower here, the Hurricane on a massive 1020 health from the Empower. Now let's get a white shield on that thing, right? Or white health shield. That would be sick. So over here pushing down this because I know he has nothing here, and then zoning his army here with this squadron. He's got a ton of Sabers though, but he's down about 80 supply, and what he's really missing is a proper front line, and he needs a bit more anti-air. Like Na'vi are good with their Sovereign's Decree, but you need, versus a Hurricane, I think you need 4 or 5 Sovereign's Decrees. So one Na'vi ain't gonna cut it. But he's over here pushing this base because he knows he can't fight my army. So he's like, and I'm like, hey, nice free kill on a Na'vi. But he knows he can't fight my army, so he's going for a base race instead, which is the right call. I'm over here trying to buy time. I built 2 towers pretty quick. I thought that was the right call. I should have put a unit in this. But I'm over here coming back with this squadron of units. I've got these 2 Atlas doing nothing. I've got this Hurricane doing nothing. But I was able to get behind his army here. His Sabers are even getting kind of caught on this camp, which is good for me. So he gets the vision units, but there's really no use with them in this fight. I'm able to jump my bio on top of his Sabers. I've got a new Hurricane here. GG. This game goes in my favor, so I win the little best of 3. And there we go. So I hope you guys really enjoyed it. Like I said, and I want to be clear on this, this was really the first version. This is the first version of the revamp. And this was our first kind of 3 test games on it ever. So there's a lot to be tweaked still. There's a lot of changes to be made. A lot of changes coming. But hopefully you enjoyed the first kind of preview of all of it. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you found it interesting. And we're going to make this available for everybody soon. So hopefully you play some games on it when it is. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.